Welcome to the Warframe Weapon Encyclopedia, where today we're checking out the Kreska. You can get the blueprint for the Kreska from the Corpus or Energy Lab in your dojo for 15,000 credits, and to build it you're gonna have to put in an additional 25,000 credits, 10 field drone, 40 mitochondria spore, 25 star amarast, and 20 longwinder lathe coagulant. Now the Kreska, even though it looks like a scythe, is actually a master rank 6 machete that does primarily heat, but it still has a decent amount of slash. Then there's a little bit of impact and a tiny bit of puncture on the side as well. It comes with a relatively low crit chance of only 14%, a standard 2x crit multiplier, and a solid 22% status chance, and it's reasonably fast with an attack speed of 0.917. It has good range of 2.4 and solid follow through of 0.7. Now a good starting build for the Kreska is actually this one right here, where you have pressure point for damage, fury for attack speed, melee prowess for status, and then unranked north wind, fever strike, and molten impact, which gives you a really good combination of vital and heat. This is a very solid setup that will take you through most of the star chart with very little investment. I like it an awful lot. But if you want to squeeze a little bit more out of the Kreska, I would recommend these builds instead, because this time around I actually have 3 options for you. And they're in order of effectiveness. So the first one is sort of like the feels good status build. That's the one that I actually prefer, and it's the weakest one of the 3. This one runs vital and heat, but it also gets a bunch of extra range from primed reach, and it has its own combo sustain built in with the drifting contact. The second one hybridizes the Kreska, so we still run vital and heat, but instead of primed reach and drifting contact, we run blood rush and organ shatter. This will give you more damage at the cost of range and combo sustain. And the third one is the sweatiest one of them all. This goes back to pure status, but it's done differently. So we run unranked virulent scourge and vicious frost for just a tiny bit of vital damage, and we run buskill to bolster the slash damage. On top of that, we're gonna run a primed smite mod for the appropriate faction, in this case primed smite Grenier, and I still like to run primed reach here because having extra range is just good. Though you could replace it with something like healing return for healing, blood rush for crit, or even a riven. This is by far the strongest setup of the 3, and it will easily chop through the entire star chart, do nightmare and fissure missions, do all sorties, and you can even take it into steel path. It is very fiddly though. Firstly, you will have to get combo sustain somewhere else, so you're gonna have to run a dexterity arcane on your primary or secondary, or you're gonna have to use the Natamon focus school, and secondly, you will have to juggle the smite mod, so you always have the right one for the faction you're fighting. The Kreska sits in this weird spot where on one hand I would actually recommend it because it's a solid weapon, but on the other I wouldn't, because you can get the Gazelle Machete at Mastery Rank 5, and I consider the Gazelle Machete to be slightly better than the Kreska. Because while it doesn't do as much damage and has slightly lower crit, it's faster, it has slightly more range, and the resources you need to build it are easier to get. So if you think the Kreska is cool, pick it up because it is a solid weapon, but if you just want a good machete, go for the Gazelle Machete instead. And as always guys, I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.